This week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast is brought to you by listeners like you. Head on over to patreon.com/Run, Eat, Drink podcast and subscribe today. Fans, founders, and insiders like you help us keep the Run, Eat, Drink podcast going. And we thank you for your support.
Hi, I'm Jeff Galloway, and you are listening to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast.
Welcome to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We feature destination races from across the country. And after the race, we take you on a tour of the best local food and beverage to celebrate. So whether you are an elite runner or a back of the packer like us, you'll know the best places to accomplish, explore, and indulge on your next runcation. Hey, welcome to episode 169 of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. I'm your host, Amy.
And I'm your co-host, Dana.
Welcome to the show. We're so happy that you're here. Some of you listening on the podcast feed, others joining us live for this recording.
And this is, I don't know if I'd say it's historic, but it is certainly going to be I think a first for us. Oh! This is our first remote video live stream, I think, that we've done for the show where we're both not in the same room.
I have just switched over to the comments. So if you're listening back to this on the podcast feed, then you're listening to a first, like Dana said, and I'm at home running all the technology without him. And if you are joining...
You're doing a darn fine job, by the way.
Oh, my God. If you're joining us live and you're in the comments, I will be reading those and adding those to our live video as I can. And let us know how you're doing, what you're drinking, and more importantly, how the video and how the sound are. Really.
Yeah.
Because I'm a one-woman show over here, so it could be just, we could crash and burn.
And I'm a one-woman show over here. No, kidding.
What? Sorry, I'm too loud.
No, I am coming to you guys live tonight from Daytona International Speedway. I'm literally close enough to throw something at it and hit the speedway.
Yeah.
I'm staying at a hotel here in Daytona Beach for a work conference, and I'm coming to you guys live via the miracle of hotel Wi-Fi and my headphones. So let's hope this holds up.
Yeah.
It's the technological equivalent of spit and baling wire.
Oh, boy. So Josh said, let the shenanigans commence.
All right.
Katie's in the chat and says, hi, friends. Maria Miller is here. This may be one of the first times she's caught a live recording of our show. Audio.
Well, fantastic. I'm glad people are jumping in. I was just really concerned about my audio. Hopefully I sound okay, but I think that we've got that worked out.
Josh is reporting from YouTube that the audio is great. If anybody's over on Facebook, let us know. I'm making my way through the chat. It's great to see you all in the chat again, even though we don't see your faces. We're so glad to see you. Yay, Josh says good job. Dwayne Willie, love it. Love you're here. Katie says it's great to see us. Maria says the sound and video is great, and she's drinking a fat-burning tea. Yes.
A fat-burning tea. Send some my way.
Right? I need that too. Maria, we need that as part of our challenge. Josh says I had one job and I nailed it. I should open mine away from the microphone. You're showing off your water.
Well, mine's not fizzy. This is not fizzy water. This is just water.
I have a SodaStream water. I said you could take the SodaStream with you, just so you know.
I appreciated that. No, I was fortunate. The hotel that they put me up in for the class actually is one of those extended stay hotels. So I have a full kitchen actually here, and I was able to go to a Publix grocery store and buy fresh food. This might be my first time in traveling for work where I actually have the opportunity to have fresh food and be able to cook myself instead of relying on restaurants, which has been pretty nice.
Yeah.
And the kitchen came appointed with dishes and pots and pans and all that.
Well, that's fabulous. So you are set up for success in travel.
So it would seem.
Yes.
So it would seem.
Like I said at the start, Dwayne says that our sound and everything on Facebook is good, and he's drinking a 0-calorie lemon soda.
Nice.
And Katie has a bottle of water. And
it sounds like we're all being healthy tonight.
It sounds,
and that's probably good, given that it's the beginning of the week.
Oh yeah, it's Monday. Well, as we record this. Oh, Fun Size Jen is here.
Hey, Jen.
Yay! And Chris Darling. Fabulous extra mile representation. And Sarah, patron Sarah, is here and says hi.
Hello.
And Chris is drinking a Diet Coke. Yes, I know. I am so used to polling everybody for what they're drinking on our live. Well, I guess now we're calling them our Wednesday water chats. I guess. I don't know.
for the time being, that will change.
Yes.
That will change.
Yes. Coffee is brewing for Josh, and Susie's here. And I really want to say hello to everybody who is taking the time to drop into the live chat with us, and everybody who's listening back to the podcast, because it's been a week since we have seen and since you have heard from us.
Yeah, and what I'd like to do before we get started in earnest, I wanted to take a minute and, for most of you listening know, and I think all of our patrons are aware, the reason that we're delayed a week is because last Sunday I got some pretty heartbreaking news that my sister unexpectedly passed away. And we've been spending the better part of this past week getting all of her final affairs taken care of, her house, and everything else with family in Tampa. And this comes on the heels of the passing of my nephew just 2 months ago. And it has been a challenging couple of months. And I have been absolutely blown away by the love and the support of this woman right here that I'm pointing out on the camera, and by the outpouring of support that we've gotten from our listeners and members of the Runcation Nation. I can tell you that there have been many tearful nights in the last week, and many tearful drives driving to and from Tampa. And there was one in particular when Amy was reading me messages from everybody in the Runcation Nation that shot us messages, and having the opportunity to be lifted up and supported by all of you in what I can tell you is probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to go through in my 46 years on this planet is pretty amazing. And I cannot thank all of you enough for the support that you've given me and Amy over the last week. And just from the bottom of my heart, I love you guys, and you're incredible. So thank you very much. And I don't want to bring the vibe down. I don't want to make this a somber episode in any way. I just want to express my appreciation to everybody. So thank you. I
echo that as well, 100%. I'm I've been focusing on trying to take care of Dana and the messages that we have received from the Runcation Nation. Everybody who is here locally who says, hey, can we bring you something? Or anybody who is across the globe, because we're international. Yeah. Thanks to Rhonda Lee. I just, my heart is full. I'm talking with my hands. My heart is full, and I can't echo everything that you said enough. That I was so focused to be able to take care of Dana because of all the support and well wishes. That emotional support is so important when you go through something like this. So we can't thank everybody enough. Those who have been here in person, those who have been, and two, I'm going to catch up on the comments because we're getting some messages now. I can't,
it's hard to type and talk and read at the same time, isn't it?
Yes.
Craft services.
Yes.
I missed it.
Sorry. Let me make an adjustment because I don't know. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you better now.
Better now?
You move the mic. Yes.
Can you hear me now? So I just, technology without you is such a challenge. What you do every episode is just amazing. So, okay. I just don't want to let it go without putting up some of the comments. So Josh he says, we're here if you need us. Dan Rams from the Cape Coral Running Group says, I'm sorry to hear about the loss of your sister and your nephew. We love you from Katie. Chris Darling, the running community is one of the most supportive communities out there. We love you guys. And that is so true. Some of the most supportive people are the ones we have yet to meet. And we will meet. True. I think in 2021 and 2022. So Jennifer Hall says, we're here for you both. Katie says, I have a card in the mail that I sent you all. Oh my God. And speaking of mail, don't let me forget to talk about that in the shout out. Mail. Okay. Don't let me forget in the shout out section. So Susie says, we love you. We love you too, Susie, so much. Rob Nadow's in the chat, checking in. Hope you're doing a little better. Thank you, Rob. We're hanging in there. Josh says, you two are a shining beacon of what love and support should be.
All right, you can't cry and read.
I can't cry and operate this thing.
And operate all the technology. So, okay, let's get to shout-outs.
Yeah, let's. Okay. And Sarah says agreed. Agreed. So, thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Welcome to episode 169 of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast, where we have tons of shout outs. Like you said, we were absent last week, which means we missed our 4th podcast anniversary. But you know what?
We're just delaying it.
One of our patrons sent us a gift. We should start the shout out with that. And I don't have it in the room. I'm a poor technological podcaster. I don't even know how to say it. But JoJo, or Positively Polly 1, she sent us nice wooden coasters and coffee from what is it? Death Wish, right? Death Wish coffee. And
the coasters are laser engraved with our podcast logo.
Yes, I should get them and show them off on the chat, but maybe that's for Wednesday.
Let's do that Wednesday.
For Water Wednesday chat, for our Wednesday water chat, whatever we're calling that.
Like it.
We're working that, right? What do they say on the Will Run For podcast? We're workshopping that. Yes.
Yeah.
And the bib holders. She sent us bib holders that are engraved with our.
have our logo on it.
Exactly.
It's very cool. I can't
So
wait
great.
to run a real race, not to get a medal. I want to run a real race and try those bib holders.
I am super excited.
How many times I have said I ought to get a pair of those, because I really hate, remembering to get some safety pins when we go do packet pickup.
Oh my God.
Do I have enough in my DOP kit when we are traveling? So now we've got a permanent solution to that problem.
I am so excited. I can't tell you. So we'll show them off on the live Wednesday chat. We'll show all that off. And we still have yet to unbox the coffee that Josh left with us when he came to visit. So,
well, I believe that you've had, we've had a tasting of one of the coffees.
One of the three. One of the three. So we still have two.
Yes.
And then we have all of his beer to have at the end of our 75 hard challenge.
At the end of 75 hard.
Yes. So I am just so excited for all of that.
But just because we had to take the week to take care of family, the Runcation Nation was apparently very busy without us.
My goodness. Yes.
I'm looking at this list of things to shout out and celebrate here. I mean, Darlene.
Yeah.
Ran the Yellowstone Half Marathon.
She ran the Yellowstone Half Marathon, yes. And Tom from the Will Run For podcast just jumped into the chat. I was channeling him and telling him I was talking about how we're going to workshop some titles for our live chats. But Darlene's posts about her Yellowstone half, I mean, it was over a year, I think she said, that since she had run a live race, her pictures were gorgeous. Her posts were eloquent about...
She was channeling her inner Rob Nadeau.
Oh, and...
who is our unofficial photographer of the Runcation Nation.
Of the Running Drink podcast. Yes, of the Runcation Nation, yes. So, Darlene, your post is inspiring about the impact that crossing that finish line in a live race how that impacts everybody and what that means. So Rhonda Lee, how are you? Welcome to the chat. And Jojo, we were just bragging on for sending us some anniversary gifts. She ran, and her posts were so fun, the Hatfield and McCoy half. And she had pictures at the outset with two guys there in costume, and
that one looked like a lot of fun as well. Mm-hmm. I a little bit of history there. And then Dawn did the Insta Run Club 5K.
Yeah. So, I mean, in some places in the country, you're still waiting on live races or being able to travel to live races. And the Insta Run Club community has just been amazing with that. So, and Dawn, her smile in her post about that is unmatched.
Absolutely.
If you go find her on Instagram as Dawn B. Disney and you see that smile, that will make your day. That will absolutely 100% make your day. Susie says Darlene at the Yellowstone half saw a grizzly bear on the course. Oh my goodness.
I'm okay with seeing them on TV.
Yeah, I don't really... I mean, seeing them in person.
I need to encounter one in person in the wild.
I'm not sure about that. No.
Although I think people who come to Florida and do a run and then run into an alligator on the course probably say the exact same thing. They don't expect to be running with dinosaurs.
I don't think it's the same, because usually there's like some kind of fencing between you and the gator, right?
No, remember when we did?
Oh, that's true. Over in Boca.
Races over in Boca, yeah. There were like 6 or 7 gators in that lake we were running right past, and a couple of them were right by the shore.
Oh my God! Nope. I'll pass. Wildlife. I have to have glamping. I can't have camping, and I think on the race course, it's like I just need to. Well, I mean, if you're going to be with me, I guess everything will be okay. Right?
Everything will be fine.
Everything will be fine. Yes. And Anna.
Yes. I was going to say one more.
Famous for her handle on Instagram as Anna Runs on Coffee, ran the Naperville women's half. And I don't know if anybody is in the chat that I forgot to shout out, but let us know, shoot us a message. We can always shout that out on the Wednesday chat.
Yes.
So.
Yes, please. We're loving seeing, now we're starting to see the larger events begin to come back. And I am so excited about that. We are a week behind with everything, like we said. So we are going to be announcing our race calendar.
Yes.
That has not changed.
Yes.
In fact, we started booking some hotels. We started getting, actually making some preparations.
I'm excited.
That's coming. I'm guessing probably next week-ish, sometime, maybe the week after, depending on, it'll be after I get back home. I know that.
After you get back home, our two priorities are to share our race calendar with our patrons, and then on the episode proper as we celebrate our anniversary. So that is our mission.
She's the boss.
That is our mission for next week when you're home. So
yes, ma'am. Got it.
Yeah. So those are the shout outs that I have scoured the social media channels and the hashtag Runcation Nation and the hashtag Run Eat Drink Podcast for. But if I missed one,
information. Yeah, so it's the best information our intrepid field reporters could scour and get for us.
If you want to get me 17% better, shoot me a message and we'll shout you out, from the Run Eat Drink Podcast Tower. So those are our shout outs. And now we have to talk running, eating, and drinking tonight.
We do.
We do.
Because we've got updates, believe it or not, in light of everything that's transpired for us on a personal level this week. I think we've got updates. I mean, do you want me to start or do you want to start?
So we're going to do training updates, and then we're going to highlight a local food and beverage place that helped us support our goals during the 75 Hard Challenge that we outlined the last episode. So you go ahead and start. We'll get into the run with you.
Well, as everybody knows, back on June 1st, we started the 75 Hard Challenge. And what that is 75 days straight of a pretty, I don't want to call it a super strict regimen. That's not really accurate, but it's a challenge to build mental toughness and resiliency. And it encompasses doing a series of several small things each day. It does require you to do 2 workouts a day. For 45 minutes each, and one of those workouts has to be outside. It requires you to take a progress photo every day. It requires you to read 10 pages of a book that's nonfiction, something that's going to help you develop and improve as a person, whatever that might be, but just, not like a beach read novel, nothing, no fiction. It also requires you to drink a gallon of water every day. A gallon of water, hence sipping on the water nonstop. Yeah. And if you fail to do any of these things, then you have to start back at day. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot one thing. No alcohol or cheat meals.
Yes.
During that 75-day period. And if you fail to execute any of those things, you start back at day 1.
Oh,
so it's holding yourself accountable. It's forcing you to make time for yourself. It's forcing you to focus on small things. And it's holding you accountable or making you hold yourself accountable by having to start over at the beginning if you don't complete. So we started that on June 1st, and I was shocked actually with everything that happened in the last week that it didn't go right out the window. When you have a time of personal crisis, family crisis, whatever the case may be, it is easy for you to neglect yourself, for you to say, this is too important for me to focus on this right now, that I've got too much going on to worry about this right now. I'll start back on this plan or any plan when life gets easier, when this crisis passes, whatever the case may be. And the temptation for me was certainly there.
And for me too. And for me too.
Yeah. But what I ended up doing as we were dealing with everything over the course of this past week was saying to myself that this is the acute emergency is over, and now it is going to be a bit of a long haul where I'm going to need to be available for family to help with taking care of things, and I need to be in good physical and mental health during that time, in addition to giving myself the time and the space to grieve and do what I need to do as far as that process goes. Yeah. So I said to myself, I'm not going to neglect myself during this time. And part of that is I'm not going to neglect what I have already set out to do. So during all of this, Amy and I have been adhering to the 75 Hard Challenge. So in spite of having to drive to Tampa, every day this past week, we ended up getting up at 4 a.m. and knocking out our workout and doing our 10 pages of reading and starting on the water for the day and taking our selfies and making sure that we were setting ourselves up for success. Then going to Tampa, taking care of family, taking care of matters there, and then coming home and finishing. And we've had to train around the weather, and we've had to train around all of that stress and the urge to comfort eat, the urge to do things that wouldn't be in line with what we set out to do was absolutely there and so powerful. And I'm
telling you, yes,
I have been really, really surprised at how I could use, and for me, it's been running, because that's what I've been electing to do with my workouts is I'm doing 2 a day runs, and using that as a stress reliever and as a means to clear my head and as a means to, in some ways, work through some of this. Yeah. And that's been a bit of meditative time. So it's actually helped in dealing with some of the intense emotional load of the past week.
I think it gave us...
For me.
Yes. I would agree with you. I think that it has given me something to focus on in that grief. And I just remember the first night just saying to you, what do you want to do with this? The challenge and the running and all of that. And you were like, we're just going to do it. We're going to keep going. And I think that was the smartest decision that we could make. I really do. And Rob Nato, I think did you see him? He says, you're on track with that. That's more impressive than than Brady and all the Super Bowl wins. GOAT, greatest of all time. I'm not quite sure I'm up to that level, and I know
I'll take it.
We're working out. And I know that we'll resume our Couch to 5K runs this week, too.
As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'll be starting or resuming week 7, day 1 tomorrow, and I'll be broadcasting live from right in front of the Daytona International Speedway.
It'll so looking forward to that.
It'll be worth tuning into that just to see the backdrop. It's going to be pretty cool.
You better find us some good vegan eats up there, and I'm just telling you that is the challenge, but
I will look.
But you're going to give us amazing vistas also this week as a part of your runs.
One amazing vista, because it's the International Speedway.
Well, what about from several
thing.
From several angles? or
well,
something. I don't know. I don't know.
But it's still like the facade of the thing, and then basically it's malls and restaurants on the other side of the street. So
Okay.
I'll be a little limited as far as that goes, but it'll look good. It's a beautiful, beautiful structure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to see if maybe they'll let me run on the track. I don't know. They might.
Are you really going to ask?
I'll ask. What's the worst they can say? No.
You're going to try and be you're going to use your skills from your speech and debate years, right?
I'm just going to ask nicely and see what they say.
See what they say. And Josh is right when he says an important thing to keep in mind, and that we have both highlighted, is that losing self-focus is a slippery slope, and that we've overcome a huge hurdle. Very proud. It gives us kind of a touchstone, and I hope that it will continue to be the case, Well,
and I think that when you are dealing with an acute trauma, like losing a loved one unexpectedly, it is so easy to go down into a dark place and just kind of discard everything else. And for some people, they might think that taking care of yourself is the same thing as being selfish. And that's really not the case. It is about being able to weather the stress over a long period of time. Human beings are really good at handling stress acutely, but what ends up happening is over time they don't, because the body reacts the way that it does. It dumps hormones into your system. It causes that persistent fight or flight response,
right?
And that creates issues with your immune system. That creates issues where you can see yourself. And I have an experience with this in my family. A similar situation happened with my father when I was a kid, and dealing with the stress of the death of his mother led him to get a bleeding ulcer.
Oh.
So, you can absolutely neglect yourself and then make yourself no good to anybody. So, we've made a conscious choice to not allow that to happen here. So, and hopefully this will continue to help with coping with everything and with healing. And then in addition, making us a little bit better, stronger, faster in the process,
I hope so. And that exact point is one of the first books the first book that I chose for our challenge is called You're a Badass. Can I say that? Are we still a family show?
Yes, we're still a family show.
Okay. You're a Badass. How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life by Jen Sincero. And she makes that exact point. You have to get away from feeling selfish that you're taking care of yourself. And Josh is coming in for the win when he says, love thyself before you can love others. So, yeah, exactly. So I think having it to focus on, and then resuming the 5K challenge. And, we have to talk about, with our Runcation Nation, we have to talk about whether we're going to go to the 5K, the faster 5K, or the 10K program, because this week 7 in Jeff Galloway's Couch to 5K, Easy 5K, is week 7 is race day. It's race day.
Race week.
Yeah, and then he always tacks on week 8 as kind of like, here's conditioning coming off of your race, no matter what distance it is. And so we have to talk about it with our Runcation Nation and see, do they want us to continue doing those live runs? If so, what distance is next? Do we want to focus on improving the 5K time and those kinds of questions? And I'm kind of excited to explore that in upcoming episodes.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see if people are more interested in how does the program change when you're working towards improving your time? Mm-hmm. Or are people more interested in seeing how the training program adapts to a longer distance. So I smell a poll coming on.
Yeah.
In social media over the next couple of weeks, and we'll figure it out from there. I know that the responses I got on the run week before last were a little bit divided, I think. So I'd like to get a feel.
Well, so we'll see where everybody falls, and then ultimately we'll decide what to do. And I will tell you, as far as just rounding out the updates and what I have done, I've been walking because I've been experiencing a challenge where I need to work on strengthening in those workouts, those 2 workouts that we're doing as part of the challenge. And I need to focus on strengthening, and also to get back into running, I need the expert. Yes, the app has his voice, and I love it, right? And I think Rhonda Lee has actually talked about that in the past. I know I need to work on strengthening, and I think Susie shot me a link to some of the strengthening she's been doing and having real great success with. So shout out to Susie. And
I know that you unboxed your Bosu ball.
Yeah, I got to show people. That. Yes, I have to show people the Bosu ball. Thank you, TheraBeast, for influencing Dana to just order that without even telling me. And
we were literally sitting right there recording an episode or doing a live chat.
And you ordered it. I didn't think you were going to do it. But also, I need the expert, and I need real-time Jeff time. So I signed up for a round of e-coaching with Jeff.
Very nice.
Yeah, I did that this past, 2 or 3 days ago. I signed up for that and filled out the questionnaire about where I want to go and what my goals are. And we can get into more of that on upcoming episodes as I talk about what happens in e-coaching and kind of where he's steering me. But I just feel like I need that real-time support, and I'm so excited that I get to have it. And we had Jeff introduce us at the top of the episode because he did a live chat with his daughter-in-law, Carissa Galloway, about his progress and how he's making it back slowly and steadily, and kind of where he was at the beginning of his situation and his health-related event, his heart attack, and up to now, and how he's slowly and steadily doing the right thing with medical advice. I need the expert advice. So I'm going to Jeff, and I am so lucky that I get the opportunity to do that again. So
yeah, I'm glad that he's recovered to the point where he's able to get back to doing the e-coaching, and I know that he's still on the mend a little bit, but
yeah.
I mean, it's not going to slow him down from working the keyboard. So he's always been amazingly responsive, and I mean, he knows your journey from the beginning of our running experience. So he is going to be an amazing resource, and maybe when he's feeling up to it, we can try to get him back on the show.
Oh, I hope so. I really, really hope so. And Susie says she looks forward to hearing about my e-coaching experience. I'll talk about that a little bit on the show. Maybe I'll do something for our patrons about it, or I've been kicking around some ideas, and I'm not really sure where I'm going to land. You're doing the weekly runs, and I want to do something above and beyond for all of these people that have helped and supported us. I was also thinking about like a weekly exclusive podcast for the patrons, where I talk about some of the inspiration that I'm drawing from these nonfiction books, like Amby Burfoot's book, like this book that I'm reading now, like Meb's book, like Jeff's books. So, I'm kicking around some ideas, and I may talk to our people and see what they want.
Very nice.
So Rhonda Lee says, yay for each e-coaching with Jeff. sounds like some firsthand experience for a thumbs up. And that should benefit me. Yes, Rob. I know it has in the past, and I can remember very distinctly that e-coaching carrying me through to a PR at his race. So I know I need it, and I know that last week taught me, let's just go after what we need when we need it, so that then we can be there for everybody else and we can achieve our goals that are important to us, because you only got one life. So
absolutely.
I'm doing some e-coaching with my coach, America's coach. And that is all I have to say about that. And now I'm off the soapbox, and here I am with that. Those are my training updates.
Okay, well, I mean, and it's a great training update because you've been killing it. We've been sacrificing, blisters and sleep. And
you have gotten some blisters. Okay,
it's time for some new shoes.
Yeah, for you.
These shoes are going to last me this week, and I'm going to the run shop to buy new ones. Just saying.
I just bought some.
That's happening.
I just bought some. You need the right equipment.
When I do my evening workout tonight, there's a running shop here locally. Depending on what they have, that actually may happen sooner rather than later. I may end up picking them up if I have to while I'm here. But
I got mine early. I got mine early so that I would have a spare as these start to decline. So.
Yeah, I'm not that fancy of a runner. I just run, and
that's my mission.
The way I can tell I need new shoes is my feet start hurting. Yeah. So that's how I know.
Yeah. Hey, all of this talk of running has made me hungry.
Feeling a little peckish, are we?
Yes. So I feel like we should talk about what we've been eating.
Yeah. And we're really lucky. We've been trying to find some options, especially in the last week, where if we didn't have time to cook necessarily at home, where could we go for some options that were going to give us vegan food that was tasty, that was healthful, and that was just something that you would want to eat as opposed to something we're going to endure. Because nobody wants to endure a meal. You want to enjoy a meal. I think that's pretty safe to say.
I think a lot of people, maybe not a lot of people, but oftentimes healthy is equated with maybe not as flavorful or enjoyable.
And certainly vegan. I know that for people who aren't used to eating vegan, they will say, "Oh, I don't want to eat my front yard." I'm guilty of making that exact joke.
Of course, I'm right there with you.
And again, we're in no way trying to convert anybody at all, because normally we have a day 7 where we have our day for eating for the show, and that ends up being usually a animal protein of some kind. We're big fans of chicken, steak, fish. So
love it.
We're not trying to convert anybody, but we are adhering to a diet as part of that 75 hard challenge, and that for us is strict vegan eating over the course of the 75 days with no cheat days. So we found a local chain, and I don't know that they're out of the area, but I know that they have 2 locations here in Lee County.
And I think that they list Naples on their website. So I don't know if they have a location in Naples or they're working toward that, but yeah.
But this is a restaurant called UhmazeBowls. Maze Bowls. Yeah. And this is this type of restaurant is starting to catch on in places really across the country. And what they are healthful, fresh, oftentimes organic bowls of, in some cases it's vegetables, in some cases it's fruit, in some cases it's lean proteins, usually with a mixture of legumes or rice, and then seasonings and toppings that give you basically a complete meal in a bowl, basically. And Yes, it's a very catchy
name.
Susie.
Yes.
I see. She's a yeah. It gets your attention.
Yeah.
But the restaurant here, the one that we went to, is a location that's in Cape Coral. It's really kind of a fast, fresh concept. So it's a counter service where you go up and order, and then when they call your name, you can get your dish and go eat at the indoor or outdoor seating. It's actually
pretty
a
inside.
Nice, open, airy concept. I mean, they do a great job with how it looks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and over the week I'll throw up some pictures of what it looks like inside, and I bet that we have some people in the Runcation Nation that might have a similar type of restaurant in their area, because I feel like it is a type of place that has caught on throughout the country.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people are looking for these easily transportable, healthy options that they can do, and they do things like they do a bowl with a puree of fruit that's frozen at the bottom, and then it's topped with fresh fruit. They do some stuff with like tuna poke bowls.
Oh, it looks good.
And then they have a series of toasts. Mm-hmm. I know the joke is hipsters and their avocado toast, but they do a series of toasts, and then they do smoothies. And these are all fresh ingredients, and you can kind of customize them how you want. But they have some core recipes that they offer, and we tried some.
We did,
and we liked it.
Yes,
I mean, we liked it enough. We liked it enough to feature it on the show. And that says something, because we've talked about it. We are pretty hardcore.
All right. Has anybody had avocado toast? Anybody that is in the live chat, let us know if you've had it, if you've made it, if you like it, because the first thing we had there was each one of us got an order of this avocado toast.
Yeah, they offer this avocado toast, and this is something that I've actually replicated at home. In fact, I think I've even talked about it on some lives before. But this is they do a gluten-free toast topped with avocado, alfalfa sprouts, hemp seeds, extra virgin olive oil, and pepper or cracked pepper. And they do pink Himalayan salt on top of it, if you want. You can always tell them to hold it.
I like how they're willing to customize everything.
And you can just tell them make it vegan, and they will substitute out whatever they need to make something vegan.
Yes. So they know their menu. Really everybody there that works there knows the menu so well. And the avocado alfalfa toast, I mean, it's $6.50, and the avocado toast was huge. It was very filling. You basically get an entire avocado worth of the avocado flesh on two slices of this toast. It's piled high. They do the alfalfa sprouts and then the hemp seeds, which hemp seeds give this really subtle nuttiness in terms of the flavor. Yeah,
that you don't expect, and they have a really pleasant texture. They're a little bit they're about the same, maybe a little softer firmness than say a pine nut. Is basically the best way I could describe it. And Susie's suggesting sometimes an egg. I love avocado toast like this with a poached egg on top. That is one of my absolute favorites.
Delish. And when we were in Jacksonville the last time for the Donna, we went to Southern Grounds and we talked about their food, and they have normally an avocado toast, but they also had a special at the time that was guacamole on the toast, which was delightful. So Susie, you're making me think of Jacksonville and the Donna weekend, and because that is amazing. And Sarah says, "Oh, look at this."
Everything bagel seasoning on avocado toast would be amazing. That would winner. avocado toast dinner.
Oh my gosh. And yeah, and Rhonda Lee was just gonna, great minds think alike, because Susie and Rhonda Lee were both saying yes, an egg. But you would do a poached egg, not a scrambled egg?
I would prefer poached eggs for that. I just think there's another local restaurant that I like that does a similar thing where they do their own fresh-made, house-made sourdough, and they do a poached egg, and they do red chili flake on top, and it's just fantastic. And then they'll do that with either a little sprinkling of goat cheese or vegan feta cheese on top to give you a little bit of an acidic tart punch. Oh, fantastic!
So good.
And what I also like about the avocado alfalfa dish is that unexpectedly, guacamole doesn't really taste like a raw vegetable. It doesn't have that deep green flavor that you get from, say, sprouts. And the little addition of that alfalfa sprout giving you that, and they're so delicate in terms of their texture. I think that it's just a really nice component that makes this, it just makes it really, really work.
And the avocados were ripe at the perfect ripeness. Here at UhmazeBowls, we just it was so good. So good. Yeah. Yes.
Yep. That's a favorite.
Yeah. We also split something called the Garden of Eden. And that is tofu on a bed of warm rice topped with sesame seeds, alfalfa sprouts, edamame, avocado, carrot, purple cabbage, cucumber, sunflower seeds, and tamari. And
this thing is gorgeous, by the way. This
so
is
colorful.
Like an edible work of art.
Rainbow of colors. So
yeah. A lot of people, tofu is one of those things that you either love it or you hate it. Yeah. And tofu is, I think it's a great vehicle for the flavors it's prepared with. Texturally, it kind of reminds me of depending on which type of tofu, it can range anywhere from custard all the way to really hard scrambled eggs.
Yeah, that is so true. That's the perfect way to describe that extra firm tofu. And you have roasted it in the past at home and cubed it to kind of
to soups.
Yes. And but I think it would be equally good that way in stir fry. I think this was the firm tofu that we had because it wasn't that creamy kind of custard consistency. In this, and the warm rice, and then the edamame, and the crunchiness of the cabbage, and then the cucumber, it's just different textures. And then the sunflower seeds for crunch, and the tamari is like just that
the salty component,
the salt and pepper kind of seasoning that you need. Yeah.
And I think that the hidden gem in this is the combination of the crunch from the purple cabbage, which, by the way, is also just a beautiful visual component.
Oh, yeah.
Because it pops against the green. I love the flavor or the creaminess of the avocado and the nuttiness of the sunflower seeds in there. And again, this is all on top of a bed of warm rice that they prepare fresh. They have a rice cooker going, and they're spooning this into the bowl, and they're making these all day long.
You could just watch them do it. It's great.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, and it comes out like a work of art. So
it does.
Yeah.
So,
and Katie says she's made tofu stir fry. Yeah.
Yeah, and so this is the savory side of UhmazeBowls.
Yeah.
But like we mentioned, kind of introducing them, they have a sweet side to them as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, the dishes that we're describing, we went and we had them prior to starting the challenge. And
yes, these are going back, but we actually had these. We kind of had these on reserve.
Yeah.
Because we were going to do UhmazeBowls as a location anyway.
Yeah.
And then we started the challenge, and we went back and we found even more to talk to you about. So, I mean, we actually we're full on with McCoy.
And I really like that when we walked in this past week and we started to explore the sweet side of their menu, that they were very open to and very knowledgeable about, okay, so you would have to swap this out or that out to make it vegan.
Yes. Yeah,
so
that was very helpful.
Yeah.
I mean, disappointing because one of my favorite things that they do, one of the things that they like to flavor some of the sweet stuff with is a little drizzle of hazelnut chocolate spread.
Yes.
But the one that they use in particular is not vegan because probably because of the milk chocolate.
I imagine so.
In there.
Yeah.
So instead you sub out peanut butter.
Yes.
Instead.
So when we went back and...
So it's a pretty good compromise.
Yeah, when we had the Amaze Bowl, or the acai, the Amaze acai bowl. How did I do?
Acai, which this is one of those fruits that I think honestly is I don't know how legitimate any of the whole superfood hype is when it comes to really anything, whether it's eat a pound of blueberries a week and you'll never get old, or drink acai juice and you'll earn all kinds of extra money.
You've seen those infomercials right now.
And good look. Oh my gosh. But the fact of the matter is the acai fruit is actually very tasty. It kind of reminds me of kind of a cross between a blueberry and a raspberry, or maybe like a pomegranate.
Yeah, without that kind of seed-like component, a little bit that flavor, not that consistency. Oh, Mark, hello. Mark Valentine from this Diz Life podcast. How are you? Welcome. We're talking about our healthy foods that we're having. And McCoy, yeah. I think whether it's sweet or whether it's savory in terms of the meals that we've had there, they are... I'm lucky. We're lucky that we have them, and I hope that everybody has something similar near them.
Yeah, so this bowl, what's interesting about this is kind of a weird...
It's a weird bowl?
Way. It's kind of weird because what they do is that you have the acai blend at the bottom. That is the base layer of this bowl. And it's basically frozen fruit that's pureed. So it ends up being very similar to a fruit smoothie, but a thicker consistency to where you'd have to eat it with a spoon. So it's kind of like a fresh fruit sorbet or sherbet would be, I guess, a better way to describe it.
When it's fresh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it's fresh. And the way that they do it, I just think second day, like if you save it for the second day, I would put it in the freezer.
Yeah.
So that you can maintain that consistency.
Yeah, it's basically pureed fruit soft serve at the bottom.
Yeah. So look at Rhonda Lee trying a new recipe. Bruschetta,
and then it's
goat cheese.
Oh,
honey drizzle,
cheese and honey. That actually sounds amazing.
Yeah,
but so this has that acai blend at the bottom, and then it's and it's also got a combination of the blend in the bottom is acai berries, strawberries, bananas, blueberries, peanut butter, and coconut milk. That is what they are making the puree with.
Yeah,
and then. So you got that as the base.
Yeah.
And then it's topped with granola, sliced fresh strawberries, sliced fresh banana, shredded fresh coconut, and you can get it with the hazelnut spread. We subbed out the hazelnut spread for a little more peanut butter.
Which worked out very well.
And
as far as flavors.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically a fresh fruit sundae is the best way I could describe it.
I mean, yeah, it was delicious. Yeah.
And I don't know, would you call that a dessert?
I don't know. Because we had it as a meal.
Yeah, we had it as like a light late lunch,
Yeah.
early dinner type thing. So
but
I mean, by the way, too, it's enormous. It's big enough that you could eat half of it, and then you're like, I got to save the rest, and that's how we know it
goes in the freezer.
Save it for the next day.
Live and
Freeze
learn.
it, yeah.
Live and learn, people. Well, we're living and learning, so yeah. This is not all that we got from UhmazeBowls.
No, we're going to talk about the drink section here.
Yes.
And I think that this is going to be a drink served with a side of controversy.
Yes.
And
we need to know how you feel about this.
We're gonna need help from the audience
Yes.
here, because what we decided to do was also try a beverage from there. Now, UhmazeBowls actually has nitro cold brew coffee on tap, as well as oat milk lattes on tap. So if you go there and you want to get your coffee fix, it's a great option to be able to do that.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, they also have a wide selection of smoothies. And for this week's drink portion, we're going to be talking about a couple of smoothies that they have to offer.
Well, do you want me to go first?
Why don't you go first? Because yours was really interesting.
Okay. So I had the basic B, and this was before we started the challenge.
That's BEE.
Yeah.
By the way, I mean, I know the basic B makes it sound like something else, but no, basic B.
No. BEE like the animal.
Right.
That makes honey. You're clear. Okay. So I had the basic BEE. The blend was banana, and they're called superfood smoothies. Superfood. Yes. The blend is banana, pineapple, spinach, honey, coconut milk. And then it's topped with bee pollen, chia seeds, and drizzled with honey.
Yeah, and Amy wanted to point this out. This is one that she selected in our trip before we started the challenge, because there are different schools of there's schools of thought amongst vegans about is anything that a bee produces technically vegan. I say if you're not eating the bees, you're good to go, and we created the rules we're adhering to. So you'd been fine to get this one, but there are more hardcore vegans that say no animal byproduct, and that would include honey, because it's basically bee vomit. So yeah. Well,
I don't know. Well, I mean, so yeah, Mark is saying we make him hungry all the time.
That's the goal.
That's the goal, right?
This week, if we make you hungry and you go get this, you're doing your body a favor.
Yeah. And so no sadness milk, Josh. It's okay.
Miraculously, places that sell, that their stock and trade is in making, tasty beverages and products with even using nut milk. They're not using walnut milk, amazingly.
Oh yeah. No, I remember our taste test. Some things from the taste test I remember not so fondly.
No bueno.
Oh,
no bueno.
Okay. How about I totally loved this. And it has spinach in the blend, but it was not savory. It was not savory. I think.
But it was bright green.
It was bright green, and you can tell that when I post the pictures later on this week in social media or in the episode artwork. It was sweet. I liked the toppings because they added a layer of texture. You know how you get smoothies and they're just like ice and the blend, and there are no layers of I think they're excellent in creating layers of texture to accompany the sweeter flavor, but not too sweet. There's the sweetness from the fruit, That's natural sugars. But then there's also the bee pollen, the honey. Those are different kinds of layers of sweetness. And
the bee pollen gives it almost a little hint of almost graham cracker. I mean, it has it doesn't taste exactly like
nutty,
honey.
A little bit.
No nuttiness.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. And I like the fact that on the smoothies, when they do the toppings, they give you these big straws, kind of like a boba tea straw.
Yes.
So you drink it down to the bottom, and then your toppings become the thing you get to enjoy at the end.
I don't know
unless you're one of those people that mixes everything in.
But let me just, for Lisa from Custom Boutique by Lisa, who is one of our patrons, I just want to say it's not boba. There's no boba. So have faith, and it's okay. But I like the big straw.
Well, we can do boba tea if it's not a milk tea.
Right. But it's not. There's no boba in the making of this beverage.
There's not.
So you're safe. You're safe. If you've had an overload of boba, feel free to order this basic bee. What did you have, Dana?
They make one that I really like that's called the PB Crunch. Hey, James J. Williams just jumped in.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going a little bit long this week, James, because we're testing the limits of my hotel Wi-Fi. So,
and we're making up for lost time with our people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the folks at UhmazeBowls make this incredible superfood smoothie called the PB Crunch.
Oh my Lord. Yes.
And this one is very simple. But I like it so much that I've actually started stocking one of the actually most of the ingredients at home all the time. This is a blend of banana, cacao nibs, peanut butter, almond milk. That's it. Really, really simple. So you get this wonderful, thick smoothie shake that gives you, a banana and peanut flavor with little crunches throughout as you're drinking. And that's from the raw cacao nibs. And the topping is more cacao nibs. So a cacao nib is basically the pod or the bean that they make chocolate out of. That it's chocolate in its natural form. It's dried, fermented, and then cracked, and then they basically will sell you bags of cacao nibs. And
we
I
have
use
them
it now as a topping for
your oats.
Cold soaked oats. Yeah. And that is, I think, it's such a simple one, but it's so tasty and satisfying. Like you said, the textural component. You get the little crunch throughout as you're drinking.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you get the little pile of cacao nibs. And if you want to stir them in, you can. But it's just so delicious. And raw cacao nibs are basically like unsweetened dark chocolate, which is one of my favorite things. So I'm a huge fan of this one.
Yeah, I am too. It's like when I was a kid, I loved a chocolate-covered banana, like one of those frozen chocolate-covered bananas.
We used to make them at home when I was a kid.
Yeah. So I just, that's what it reminded me of. So, but we have a bonus one. So those two.
One bonus one.
We do, because we had those prior to starting the challenge when we were together. And then when we returned, we had something called the PB and Yay.
Yeah, this is a smoothie that's basically their riff on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
It's so good. I just want to tell you. The blend is strawberry, banana, peanut butter, honey, and almond milk. And it's topped with goji berries and drizzled with peanut butter. And goji berries on the top, I mean, like and then inside the cup before they put the smoothie in there after they blend everything, they have kind of artfully decorated the sides of your glass with the peanut butter.
And I've seen bartenders do that with
drinks,
like
cocktails,
chocolate martinis,
sure.
that type of thing.
So
well, they
pretty.
did this with our plastic smoothie cup.
It was so pretty. And then on the top are those dark, almost pomegranate color, like you mentioned before, like those pomegranate color goji berries, but they're not, you know how pomegranate seeds you crunch and they have the hard middle and then they have the burst of the fruit and the juice of the pomegranate and the tartness. Mm-hmm. This was different. This was a goji berry. It was crunchy at first, but then almost chewy like a candy.
Yeah, these are dried, so that's why. And I've only really ever had goji berries before at the Hilton Bonnet Creek. There's a salad that they serve at the poolside bar there that has goji berries on top.
Oh yeah,
as a garnish.
Yum.
And it's a neat component because it has it's like you said, it's got this crunch and then a chew and then that tartness and sweetness. It's a neat component.
So again, I think they're really smart with the textural components in their smoothies. So
yeah,
and it felt like a dessert to me, a dessert beverage.
And what I like is if people are looking at coming to Southwest Florida and they're looking at maybe spending a day out on Sanibel at the beach, this is the type of thing that you could, grab the cooler, swing by, grab a couple of smoothies for the ride out, grab a couple of bowls to eat while you're out there on the beach.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd be able to have a nice, light, healthful lunch right there with your toes in the sand, looking at the Sanibel Lighthouse as the water's coming up, washing up on shore.
So gorgeous.
I mean, it would be a phenomenal way to enjoy some tropical flavors and getting your fix of the beach life down here in Southwest Florida. I think it would be a great accompaniment to heading out there.
A great summer experience. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So maybe some people will come and visit us. And Sarah says, and partake in that, because the image you paint is perfect. I would love that, Ed. After the sun is high in the sky and after the thunderstorms of summer have passed, that would be just perfect to watch the sunset on the beach and enjoy that. Sarah says she loves goji berries on their own. So I don't know if I could recreate anything that they have done. And with their skill, they're great. I would try.
I think we could get close.
We could try. Josh says he's got to run. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh no, he doesn't have to leave. I misread the comment.
No, he's saying it's beautiful.
It's beautiful
down here in Southwest Florida.
Yes, it is beautiful, and everybody should vacation here. Yes, it's beautiful. Yeah. The beaches. Yes.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, that is the update on our training, the running portion, the food and drink from UhmazeBowls, a wonderful Southwest Florida local chain. Please check them out. We'll have a link to them in the show notes. Mm-hmm. And when you're planning on coming down here, and if it's not UhmazeBowls, I will bet you whatever town you're headed to, if they've got new restaurants that have opened, new places, they probably have a concept at least similar. So if you can't come here, check out some of the places maybe nearby you if you're looking for healthful bowls of goodness.
I just think it's a thing.
It's becoming a thing. It's rapidly becoming a thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, next week, we're going to do it. We're going to have a celebration next week.
Yay! I'm so excited to be able to celebrate with everybody 4 fantastic years of our show. We will look back at some great moments, and we will share with you finally, at last, what we have planned for 2021 and our race calendar.
We've been hinting at it for so long. We better knock it out of the park with this one. That's all I can say.
I hope we do. I really hope we do.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. So, if you have time, you should really check out purecreativeapparel.com. Our friends Pam and Ariel have posted some new great Run, Eat, Drink podcast swag. And that includes, speaking of our anniversary, a limited edition Coffee Crew shirt. I am so excited about it.
You guys got to go check this out. We'd love for you to grab them while you can. Pam and Ariel have been hard at work. You know, Amy does so much work behind the scenes. You guys have no idea. I'll see a flurry of text messages going, and it's Amy and Pam and Ariel, and they've got pictures going back and forth. They're doing all this stuff. And a lot of times it happens when I'm at work, so I can't really give it I can't really look at it. So I don't catch up on it oftentimes, and then all of a sudden, boom, something new is up. And Susie, see you later. Thank you.
Take care. Thanks for jumping in.
So she'll make plans. She'll make decisions on products, and boom, it's up there. And I think I got informed of the final design about the same time all of you did. So. Check them out. It's really cool. And I know that some of you have already put your orders in.
So exciting.
I am so excited. And Josh, that extra 17%, boom.
Oh, that is research-based.
It's coming your way.
That is research-based statistics, my friend. Yes.
It's science.
Yeah, it's science, research. It's solid. So we really had, so that's purecreativeapparel.com, and we link to it in our show notes.
And by the way, thank you to them for kind of featuring us front and center, so we're not having to send people through our website.
I mean, you can. Right, you can go to runeatdrink.net, and you can click on support the show, and you'll see a link to Pure Creative Apparel that way, and a link to our Patreon. But you can go to purecreativeapparel.com to see that new swag, some of the new colors, the tank tops, they're great, and we can't thank Pure Creative Apparel and Pam and Ariel enough. Check it out. Thank you so much for listening or jumping in live, however this week you have listened.
And for everything that you guys have done this week. Thank you so much. Your continued support and love and caring for us as people as well as hosts of the show.
Yeah.
Absolutely is something that we cannot thank you enough for. So we are very appreciative of you.
Yes, he has said it well, and I will not go on because then I'll get choked up because it means so very much to me. So just thank you so much for all of your support and love, for joining us on your long run, your commute to work, around the house, or wherever you are. I'm your host, Amy.
And I'm your co-host, Dana.
Stay safe, stay well, and we will accomplish, explore, and indulge with you really soon. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We're having another great year thanks to your support. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're at Run, Eat, Drink podcast. And on Twitter, we're Run, Eat, Drink pod. You can also give us a call at 941-677-2733 or send us an email at info@runeatdrink.net. Visit our website at runeatdrink.net and click on the subscribe link so you don't miss a minute. Find out how you can support the show at patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast. Accomplish, explore, and indulge right along with us. We'll talk to you next time.